But right now, it's a pleasure to welcome Ken Wisnefski. He is a social media and tech expert. Ken, thanks for coming to the program.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
So we are just let you open up with your opinion on why this is such an important issue, or is it?
Well, I think it's a really important issue, and I also think it's a very difficult one to really be able to have a real, true side to take, because there's obviously the concern over security, but at the same time, there's a big aspect related to your privacy. So
well, now wait a minute. So what is at issue with our privacy? I mean, I think people would rather not be dead than be private, right?
Well, I would agree with you there.
All right.
But I think the big thing that's come up has been the notion that in scenarios where the government has had access to information, they've gone and taken it beyond the means of just using it for security and basically started to use it in other respects. So I think there's this underlying mistrust for what the government's going to use that information and data for, and that seems to be at the heart of this problem.
What about the argument that by breaking the encryption, there's a likelihood it will get out there, and that some terrorist organization will have a more profound effect than anything they could possibly find on this phone, such as bringing the economy to a halt or the energy system, the energy grid down? Is there any reason to suspect that merely breaking the encryption would put us at risk for a worse terrorist outcome?
I think that's probably kind of viewed as the worst case scenario, that something like this would be able to be utilized and ultimately expanded upon to provide something that dramatic. But I think that ultimately, at the same time, that you feel that it would be something that even just hackers in general might be able to exploit and utilize to get personal data, credit card information, things like that. So more from that perspective. So I think you've got the full gamut as far as things from just the typical day-to-day kind of security concerns compared to something much more devious and terrorist groups utilizing it for much more of an advanced type of attack.
Did you see Bill Gates' comment today? I guess it was this morning, February. Today, in response to these FBI headlines.
I did, and I think that Bill Gates' comments make actually a lot of sense.
Let me read them. I want to read them because I agree with you. The question was, this is of Bill Gates. Were you blindsided by the "he backs FBI" headlines? In other words, Bill Gates backs the FBI. Gates says, I was disappointed because this does not actually state my view. I do believe with the right safeguards, I think there are some cases where the government on our behalf, like stopping terrorism, which could get worse in the future, that is valuable. But striking that balance. Certainly the government has taken information historically and used it in ways that we do not expect, going all the way back to the FBI under J. Edgar Hoover. I'm hoping now that we can have discussion. I do believe there are sets of safeguards where the government should not have to be completely blind. So there you go. And I said yesterday, I said, if I were Microsoft, I would say, hey, these guys are. I would go further and say, hey, those other guys, they're treasonous. Come use our products. We'll break it for you. What do you say to Gates' comment?
I'd say I'd break Apple for you. Say, bring me that phone.
Yeah,
if they're not going to do it, I'll do it.
Right. That's the other thing. To me, there's a business opportunity here, but I'm not those companies.
No, I think that Bill Gates made a very kind of realistic approach, separating the security concerns from the privacy concerns, and I think that it goes against the grain when you're looking at kind of what's out there, kind of in the tech world and their view on privacy.
So, Ken, your company is webbymax.com. Is that correct? That's where we can find out about your.
Correct.
All right, Ken. Thanks so much. Appreciate talking to you.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Yeah, you betcha.